So today I got this 12 volt fan heater. Now I looked at a lot of reviews on Amazon and various other places, and everyone says that they're crap. Now I can understand that, I know why. It's because look how long the cable is. So all the losses are happening in this long cable, the wiring in your car and the cigarette lighter socket. Now I hate cigarette lighter sockets with a passion, because the only thing carrying the current is just a very small surface area right on the end of that pin. So what I'm going to do with this is put an XT60 connector on it. Now these have got quite large pins in them where the whole of the pin is carrying the current, and then I'm going to connect it up to a 12 volt battery and see how good it is with a direct connection to the battery. So it's got heat, off and fan. If I find the wire heats up too much, I'll just be disabling that switch completely and just having a direct link straight into the heater and fan motor for minimum losses. And it seems to actually have quite a nice little PTC heating element in there, which is a bit unexpected, so I'll have another look at that. So I'll chop this piece of crap off here and put a nice XT60 on and see how that goes. We'll connect up this 12 volt battery down. And for some people these heaters have barely worked at all. Now just look how thin the wiring is in this Citroen C1. So I'd imagine the problem would be the same for the likes of the Peugeot 107 and the Toyota Aygo. They're tiny little speaker wires. Now they'll never take 10 amps. You could only like put maybe like 3 or 4 amps through that without the wires heating up and maybe a fuse blowing. So that's why I've put 8 gauge cable directly into the battery with a Dean's to bullet adapter on there, so I can run everything direct from the battery. And next to the battery I've just got a big 40 amp fuse, and also I have my bike batteries down here which actually run the whole electrical system on the car through my PowerLab charger, so the engine doesn't have to. And I think it boosted my MPG by like 2 MPG or something, but if it's a gain, that's quite good. Oh, so that's where they were. I was looking for them. Right. Yeah, that's 8 gauge, pretty heavy duty stuff. But yeah, that's a problem. That's just pathetic. Or maybe some big American cars, they've got really thick wire going into there. On my old Suzuki wagon it was much thicker, but if you've bought one of these heaters and it hasn't worked, chances are this is a problem. The wires are just far too small. The resistive losses would be massive. So, I just absolutely hate the 12 volt plug standard. It's just horrible. I'd love to just replace it with just a big Anderson connector or something like that. And that's my DVR that runs directly off the battery as well, on a rear view camera there. And I've got a kind of old sort of rundown GoPro at the front. So with an XT60 connection, this end will go in your battery or power supply, the thing that's giving the power, and this will go in your charger or the appliance or whatever is taking the power. Well, my soldering iron somehow packed in overnight when I wasn't using it, so I just kind of took it apart and put a 12 volt element around it quite quickly. So I've got my battery charger connected up to a 12 volt battery, just so it's like my car engine running, keeping the battery at about 14 volts. So we'll put it on fan mode. Yeah, it is. Other people have complained about it being noisy, which it is, but there seems to be a reasonable amount of air coming out of it. It's not too bad. Right, now we're going to put it on heat. Let's hope it doesn't go on fire. And it's warming up. It's still getting warmer and it seems to heat up quite slowly. And it's still warming, the air's getting warmer and warmer. And this is boosting the power even more. It's not too bad actually. Yeah, the current's rising now, the air coming out is getting really quite hot actually. I don't really have a thermometer to measure it, but yeah, that is really pleasantly warm. It's pretty good. And now it's kind of getting a bit uncomfortable having my hand in front of that. So it is, yeah, really quite hot. That works pretty effectively. So we'll see what temperature the air coming out is. I'll just let it get up to temperature and we'll see. Right, so the air coming out of it is pretty roasting actually. And it's saying about 65 degrees C. But I reckon that'll rise even more. Yeah, it is really quite hot air coming out of that, so that's really good. That should defrost the car no problem. Yeah, that's actually getting quite painful holding your hand in front of that, so yeah, it's working far better than many other reviewers have described, but the only thing I've done is just put a shorter cable on it, and the cable's hardly getting warm at all. It's very slightly warm, the cable. These connectors are cold, so that is pretty good. What I'll do now is I'll connect a watt meter up to it and we'll see exactly how much power. Okay, so plain fan on its own is just 3 watts. Turn on the heat. Yeah, the wattage as it heats up, as the heater gets hotter, the wattage increases. But I think that's because this battery charger is actually raising the voltage. In fact, I think it's going to hit 200 watts. So that should work brilliantly in the car. Yeah, it seems to stop at about 190. Really hot air coming out of there, so that's pretty good. I don't think I will do any more with the connector on that. I'll just leave that XT60 on there with a short cable. Yeah, it's pretty much stopped 190 watts. So, short cable about 20 centimetres should do it. And all you've got inside it is your blower motor there, the PTC heating element, and a pretty large switch there, which seems adequate enough for taking the current, and pretty good connectors in there too. I'll just have to see how it gets on. I was wanting to run it on 18 volts, but it might melt. But let's try it anyway. It's a shame though, because a lot of reviewers have said they've just chucked it in the bin because it hasn't worked. But no, if you just think about these things a little bit and have all the tools you need, you can make crap work without too much hassle at all. So it's a great product with just a little bit of modification. Okay, let's see how many watts it draws on an 18 volt bike battery. Let's just hope it doesn't go on fire. This will just stand still for a minute. Right, we'll put on heat now. So yeah, about 300 watts. Which seems to drop as it heats up. That's pretty good. So I won't actually be powering this off the car for defrosting and demisting in the morning. I'll actually be running off 2 of these bike batteries once I get the other one fixed, and that should really make an effective defrosting solution without having to have the engine running for like 5 minutes till it warms up. So yeah, it's a very good heater if you know what you're doing with soldering and batteries. So we've made it into something that seems to work pretty well.